Good Erev Shabbos, Parsha Shmini. First of all, a tremendous thank you to Rabbi Greenwald for sponsoring this week's Kiddush virtually in honor of his wife Chana. May the two of you, B'Zohanan and Tzvansik, have good health together and have a Sachia D'Shanachas from your beautiful family. And I also want to thank Jordan and Rivka Tobin for sponsoring this week's Shalosh Shudas virtually in honor of Jordan's father, whose yahrzeit is coming up, Binyamin Ben Yosef Halevi, and also I would like to thank Chaim and Pat Fogel for sponsoring Shalosh Shudas virtually in loving memory of Pat's parents, Zecharia Leib Ben Moshe Gavriel and Etel Bas Yirmiyah. May your parents' neshamas have an aliyah from your tzedakah and from today's Devar Torah. So here we go. There's a fascinating Gemara in Saita. The Gemara in Saita on Daf Hey Amud Aleph, page 5a, states that Amar Rechia Barashi, Amar Rav, Rechia Barashi says in the name of Rav, a Talmud Chacham, a God-fearing person, a learned person, Tzarech Sheyehei by Echad Mishmeina B'Shminas, needs to have an eighth of an eighth, a Shmeina B'Shminas. So the simple understanding is that it's referring to arrogance, that a Talmud Chacham, a Yid, in order to follow in the ways of Torah, we need a 64th, an eighth of arrogance. You got to have a spine. You got to have a spine. You got to have a little bit of stolz, as we say. I came across a beautiful shot from the Avnei Nezer. Avnei Nezer says a different understanding. He says this, that a Jew, a Torah observant Jew, a Talmud Chacham, needs to have a Shmona B'Shminas, is referring to this week's Parsha. We need to have, in order to be a good Jew, we need to have the eighth pasuk of Shemini. You have to have the Shmona, the eighth pasuk of Shminas, of Parsha Shmini. What's the eighth pasuk of Parsha Shmini? So that's the pasuk where Moshe tells Aaron, when Aaron was embarrassed, to bring the sin offering on behalf of Klal Yisrael and on behalf of himself. Moshe tells Aaron, Karav al HaMizbeach, come close to the Mizbeach, va'aseyes chatoscha, and perform your chatos. Says the Avnei Nezer, a beautiful thought, a beautiful idea. And he says, if a person ever transgresses an Avera, if we transgress a losa, say we're told not to do something, but we slipped, we did it, we transgressed. What do we do to counteract that? Of course, a person does tshuva on that actual action. We regret it, we say vidoy, we commit to the future. But in addition to that, what can we do to pull us out of that rut? What do we do to veer course, to get on the right path? You know what we do? We leave the los asay and we perform an asay. We start performing positive mitzvah. Says Moshe to his brother Aaron, you feel bad about the ego? Excellent. That's great, because now's the best time to start bringing sacrifices. It's the best time to start bringing karbonos. Asay es chatoscha. Perform your chatos. Says the Avnei Nezer, if a Jew is ever in a rut and we know that we've slipped, we know that we're not on the proper path right now, how do we get ourselves back on course? We look at this pasuk, we look at the eighth pasuk of Shmini, we say, you know what, the same way that Aaron perhaps slipped on his level, we're not even near there, but on his level slipped, and the way to get back is by starting to perform mitzvahs. That's what we need to do as well. Look at this eighth pasuk and realize that chas v'shalom, God forbid, yes, we do slip, but all we need to do is asay tov, start performing, do more mitzvahs, grab as many mitzvahs as we can. That'll lead us on to the other road. That'll lead us on to the road of feeling closer to Hashem, of growing closer to Hashem, and return Kedusha to our lives. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos.